Hello, my name is Angela Ferrero. I'm a middle school staff developer with the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project. I'm so glad you could join me today to think about how to turn to books and stories in your living space for mentor texts. Mentor texts are those texts that your child can study more closely to be inspired as a writer. In our time together, we're going to look at how some of your child's favorite books could become mentor texts for them. Then I'll model how that might go. Lastly, I'll share a few of my favorite mentor texts. One way to start this work is by asking your child to share his or her writing with you. Listen carefully and then ask your child what they're particularly proud of. Take some time to compliment your child, specifically pointing out parts that you loved. From this encounter, you'll also learn the genre your child is interested in. Then have a conversation with your child about how all writers, no matter how proud they are of their work, can always turn to books written by authors they love to think about how the author writes and the moves they make that they can try too. When you're helping your child look for a mentor text, you might start by brainstorming some titles in the same genre your child is writing in. Ones your child loved reading with you when they were a bit younger, or if they're older, titles or authors that they remember liking. It's okay if the text is easier than their independent reading level because you're focused on reading with an eye towards writing. Then it's as simple as taking a walk to look for that text in your living space. If you don't have the title or author, you could even just open up a tab on your computer or digital device to find this favorite text or author from your local library. As a side note, there are free apps like Hoopla or Libby that are linked to your local library, so there's no need to purchase a book. However, you can always look for a beloved title on a shopping platform that gives you a sneak peek of the text without having to purchase it. That's all you need to do for the next part. Here are the steps that a book can serve as a mentor text. Read a small portion of the text with your child, or better yet, have them read to you. Ask them to mark the places they love. You could do this too, especially if you know there's a part that could support your writer in a certain area, like how authors insert paragraph breaks with dialogue or how the author creates a mood through setting details. If you own the text, your child could even code it, adding a heart or other symbols to parts they love or are striking. If you don't want to write in the book, you could use stickies to mark or annotate those places. Then ask them, what did this writer do that I could try? Have them try to be specific. Instead of just saying it's funny or good, give the author's move a name. Like the author used a lot of action words to build tension, or the author used the ellipsis to show how the character paused while talking. After you've studied a part closely with your child, help them create a checklist with the author moves that they think could help them make their writing even better. Let me show you an example. I'm going to read from One Wish by Ronald L. Smith. It's a short story. I'm going to read a little portion of it, and I'm going to try these steps. Think with me too as I try this out loud. Got a piece of cornbread, cuz? The man's voice was as deep as rolling thunder. Wiry black and gray hair stuck out from under his chin. He smelled like a wet dog. So already there are a lot of parts that I love. So I want to think, what did the writer do that I could try? Well, just from the beginning, got a piece of cornbread, cuz? I'm already noting that the author uses dialogue that contains authentic language. I might want to try that in my own writing. The man's voice was as deep as rolling thunder, and it also says here that he smelled like a wet dog. That's another part that stands out for me, and I'm thinking there that the author used similes that really captured what the character looked and sounded like. I also noted one other part there, the part where it said that his voice was as deep as rolling thunder. Wiry black and gray hair stuck out from under his chin. So thinking about that part, I'm noting that he uses really specific details that emphasized that part of the character's appearance, a part of the character's appearance. So right away, I could pick some of those techniques that the author used and create my own checklist that I might want to try in my own writing. Lastly, I want to share a few texts that I love and possible ideas that you could study with your child. The snippet I read was from the Hero Next Door, which is a short story anthology written by diverse authors. This text is beautiful. Mi papi tiene una moto. There's an English version, Mi Papi Has a Motorcycle by Isabel Quintero and Zeke Peña. And the illustrations are fabulous. And you'll notice a lot of poetic devices that the author uses to tell this story. My Shoes and I, Mis Zapatos y Yo by Renee Colato Leones. And the illustrations are by Fabricio Van Den Broek. And you'll see that the author uses English and Spanish or translanguaging to tell this story. The Crown, an Ode to the Fresh Cut by Derek Barnes and Gordon C. James. This is a beautiful text with a lot of imagery and poetic language. A Different Pond by Bao Phi and T. Bowie. It's a beautiful text that has a hybrid structure, and you could study that with your child. I also love this book called Rim Shots, Basketball Picks, Rolls, and Rhythms by Charles L. Smith. The author uses concrete poetry, other types of poetry, and it's a hybrid multimodal text with beautiful illustrations. So those are just some ideas and some of my favorites. Whatever you decide, whatever text you choose, happy reading.